Greetings and salutations. Hello, everyone at Gen Con on the main stage. I hope you're doing...
I'm playing, who am I playing? Oh God, what's her name? Yes. What's my character's name again? I've forgotten.
Arabella?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Arabella Biblios, and which I've probably pronounced wrong. I apologize to all Greek speakers everywhere. And yeah, she's an antiquarian, a bookseller.
Oh.
Definitely nothing weird about her at all.
Oh, no. Good. I'm so glad. Because that would be awful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking
Perfectly normal.
Definitely normal. Speaking of books, Josh, I believe your character might know something about the books. Do you cook the books? No, you wouldn't.
I would certainly never do such a thing. Hello, I am Josh, and you can find me doing Vampire and Lore and Strange Adventures on YouTube. But today I am playing Walter Mellon, the prim and proper banker and socialite, of course.
Love it. Speaking of socialites, one of our PCs is quite good with society, played by my dear, wonderful GM, also Susanna Grace.
Hi, I am Susanna Grace, otherwise known as Susie, and today I'm playing Diana Darling. Darling, pleasure to meet you. She's a socialite, model, all around, just modern girl.
Speaking of modern, our fourth player, Drac, is playing a character who is modern, but perhaps not hanging out, well, maybe hanging out those parties, but in a different context. Drac.
Yeah, hi, I'm Draconics, or Drac for short. He, they pronouns, and I'm going to be playing Jackson Quinn, the bartender. He, you know what, you'll see. You'll see. That's what I can say.
Then. All right. So let us begin. I believe if we are going to begin, we're going to begin in a very small town. The town we're going to begin in is far, far, far in the north of England, on the eastern coast in Northumberland. There's a very, very small village called Little Boomer by the Sea. It hasn't changed in over 100 years, they say. Sort of your classic northern fishing village, specializing in crab, lobster, salmon. This town is small. There isn't even a railway there. And it hasn't been doing well. You know, there was a bit of a boost during World War II when they built an RAF base not far away. But since then, people have left, the young people have left the village. There's nothing much there, nothing much to do. No interest. It's dying, the town of Little Boomer by the Sea. No one really goes there anymore, and there's nothing much to do, except this one day, there's a man, a bird watcher. And this bird watcher is walking along the coast, and in the background you can see the lighthouse, tall, and he hears something as he's looking for birds. And he's not quite certain what it is that he hears. It's something strange. And as he looks about, he sees a strange, ghostly figure emerge from the sea, from the ocean itself. Just out walks this figure, glowing and translucent. And the figure steps forward and closer. And as the figure steps closer and closer to this bird watcher, the figure becomes clearer and clearer. And out of the ocean steps a man in a bowler hat with a brolly and a perfect full Windsor tie and suit. And the man in this perfect suit says, "Oh, I say, dear chap, could you quite tell me where Little Boomer by the Sea is?" And the birdwatcher goes, "Ooh, well, sorry." And then he hears, "Rule Britannia," the song coming from somewhere. And this man with the bowler hat stabs him through the heart with his umbrella. And the birdwatcher falls to the beach, his binoculars by his side, as you can hear just over the airwaves, "Rule Britannia." And the bowler-hatted man adjusts his carnation, swings his umbrella, and walks towards the village. And that is where we will begin. Spy Team 67 and the quaint village of Dune. So, there's a phone call. Who would like to start? Who's our first victim? Opportunity, person with an opportunity. Who's our first one who steps up to our camera, to our stage?
I'll go. I think, yeah.
Where do we find you? It's a lovely day. It's probably around noon, and there's going to be a phone call for you. And where do we find you, and what are you doing? And describe yourself. Tell us all about your character.
Okay, so I'm playing Jackson Quinn. He's about 6 foot, 6'1", kind of lanky. Like there isn't much muscle mass on this man, but he just seems to radiate an aura of kind of like you're not entirely sure why, but you don't want to mess with him. He wears shades of blue tinted lenses, a waistcoat, and basically a bartender's outfit, but constantly. Right now, he's not even behind the bar. He's not at the bar at all. And I think right now he's probably walking his little dog, his pet chihuahua. And he's got one hand in his pocket, slightly slouched, as he's kind of like mumbling to himself as he's walking his dog, probably getting back from a walk, actually. I think heading back to his house.
Now, if I recall correctly, in this system, the agency, every character has a heroic bonus and a heroic flaw. What is your heroic bonus?
My heroic bonus is Bruiser. The character is one of nature's thugs, or just naturally muscled. When you overcome an obstacle that is a fight or physical, invoke this bonus to reduce current threat by an extra 1.
Oh, nice. But what is your heroic flaw?
Reckless. Yeah, some might say I have a short temper. I just say that I don't have time for, I'm allowed to curse, for BS. So I sometimes jump the gun, and it often gets me or the rest of the group in trouble.
Love it. Now, as you're walking back towards your flat with your chihuahua, you hear there's like a little newspaper stand. There's a newspaper seller right by there, and goes, "Whoa, excuse me, sir. If you don't mind, I think you dropped something."
I'm pretty sure I didn't, but okay.
And he hands you a little note, and the note has it's like a little nice little stationery, and it says, "Come visit your mother."
He's gonna hand the leash of the chihuahua over to this man and say,
"Wait,
just look after him. I'm gonna be back in like maybe a day or two." And he's gonna run off too.
And you see the newspaper guy holding this little chihuahua going, "What?"
He likes wet food.
Yeah, likes wet food. Susie, where do we find you? Around noonish.
Around noonish, Diana has been out of bed for maybe an hour, and she's just stepping onto a shoot, as she is a part-time model. I think she's modeling some Pierre Cardin, the new stuff coming in, the really mod fashion. She's really on that. She's all done up with makeup. Her hair is slicked. Her little pixie cut is like as close to her head as you possibly can get, with just so much Brill cream in there. Makeup just 6 inches thick on her face, and she's posing. She's doing the Twiggy, the little waif sort of thing. She's got that going on. She is quite a slender, slight lady. So she's cutting some shapes as the camera is flashing.
I can imagine your photographer, right, wearing all black with like a little soul patch, right? A little soul patch. Yeah, the little beret. He's like, "Oh, that's lovely. Yes. Give me this look. No, this
more.
look.
More. Yes, more. No. Stop.
See, no, this way. No, look that way. Give me inner fire." And as he's going on, he's like, "Yes, that's right. Then all of a sudden, the assistant walks up and goes, "Excuse me, this she's like a sort of like 5'4", 5'5" black woman," and she goes, "Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt, but Miss Darling, we got a message. You have to call your mother.
And she immediately just stops posing. Sorry, darling, to the photographer, and just walks off set.
And he sort of like holds his finger out as you just walk off set, and he goes, wow.
She gives him one last over the shoulder as she's leaving. Pow.
Now, what are your heroic flaw and your heroic bonus?
Heroic bonus is keep them talking. Diana is, she's a high society gal, so she can listen to the most boring person in the world talk and make them feel like the most interesting person in the world. She's done many cocktail parties. So she can keep, your character knows how to keep the enemy talking, distracted from their plans. Invoke this bonus to delay all turns hazards until the next.
Very
so
nice.
Keep that villain monologuing.
Mm-hmm.
Her flaw, she's selfish. This is Diana's world and everyone lives in it. So she must act for her own interests rather than the group's interest to gain karma.
Excellent, excellent. Now, I think perhaps Walter Mellon, what are you doing at about noon-ish, 1 o'clock on this day? Where do we find you, and what do you look like?
Walter looks like a businessman of the age. He is wonderfully presented in a well-pressed suit, but the only embellishment upon this motif is the fact that he wears a fresh carnation upon his lapel. He's very proud of his flowers, and we find him in the bank that he helps run, attempting to secure some investment for a young business couple. He's sitting at his very lush desk with a pen that he picks out of one of those sticky up pen things, and he's signing the paperwork, and it's like, don't worry, I will dot all of the I's, all of the T's are crossed, and we will get you what you need in time.
Oh, well, thank you, sir. We're thinking if we can do this right, we can, we might be able to have our own shop.
That would be wonderful. I will have to visit at some time.
Thank you, sir. And then there's a crackle on your intercom, that sort of white, sort of boxy plastic intercom that's all the newness in 1967. And it's your secretary. And she goes, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Your mother called. You're supposed to call her back.
Of course. Do excuse me. Clear my afternoon, and the two of you, we will continue this conversation when I return. My apologies.
Do you just leave your office?
Yes.
Oh, immediately.
He gets up, goes over to the bookshelf where he's lent his cane, picks that up, and then clicks out the door.
Speaking of canes, I'm wondering, what is your character's heroic bonus and heroic flaw?
Well, the heroic bonus is a secret of his. He has his signature weapon, which is his cane, concealing something.
I assume it's a lovely cane. Quite well done.
It is beautiful. It has a rabbit's head.
Ah, but then what is your heroic flaw?
Unfortunately for Walter, he is extremely proud of almost everything.
That makes sense. Now, as you are heading off to meet your mother, Fuzzy, who are you playing, and where do we find your character?
Obviously, I'm playing Arabella Biblios, and she's just at her bookshop, sort of like, it's a quiet day. She's just there reading some incredibly ancient, I'd call it a tome, probably, just taking notes, just having a lovely cup of tea.
Oh, nice. Oh, now, how are you dressed?
Very sort of like, mod sort of hep cat, kind of like, very, not mod. What am I thinking of? Yes, it's just sort of like a lot of monochrome, very relatively low key.
Now, as you're in this, your bookstore, which is now, I imagine you're in London, yes?
Yeah. It's one of those ones that's just basically, it's just made of books. Everything appears to be book. Like the shelves are more books, and there's just piles of books which have piles of books piled on them, and The cobwebs are at least 50 years old.
Oh, yes.
It's got that bookshop smell.
Oh, I love it.
But
And
in the
like,
back office, there's like a nice little sort of like leather chair with, you know, sort of like sort of half a crescent of leather chairs and a nice crackling fire where, you know, she
Mhm.
invites her friends to have a lovely glass of champagne.
And in this moment, the door opens, you can hear the bell ring, and two young people walk in, and they look to you to be rockers. They're wearing their leather, and they've got their hair in a quiff, and they sort of come in, and like there's like they're two young men, and they look sort of slightly disrespectful, slightly out of place in a bookstore. They sort of look about to see, you know, like what's happening in this place. They seem like, you know, they're smoking, of course. Like they might have just wandered in, and one of them goes, "Boy, you got a book called You Gotta Call Your Mother?"
I believe I do, yes.
Oh, all right then. And he just sort of puts down a couple of pounds on the desk, and he sort of winks, and they just walk right on out.
I shrug, put the pounds in the ancient till. Ching. There's probably a couple of moths fly out. I don't do a roaring trade. It's a bookshop. We don't sell books. God damn it.
You heard them.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Sell books. What? And then I just sort of like shrug on my my little cloak thing. Just sort of, you know, walk out the door, lock, you know, turn it closed, sort of like lock the door behind me and walk off down the street.
What is your heroic bonus and your heroic flaw?
Well, my heroic bonus is an artifact I possess with strange and uncanny powers of something. I'm thinking hypnotic. You can just be like, look into my thingy.
I'm that's so fascinating that you said hypnotic for no particular reason. I'm just gonna keep that in mind, and I'll pay you $20 later for that foreshadowing. And
Oh, okay.
And what is your heroic flaw?
I am incredibly obsessive about anything to do with, you know, arcane matters. It's just like, it's a what now? Oh, I see. Right.
Oh, I love it. And one by one, each one of you make your way to a small bakery. At different moments, you arrive, and when you come into the bakery, you know, there's a sort of an ancient man who is sort of running it. But when you walk in, he doesn't say a thing. He just sort of points to the back, and out in the back, you know, there's a hallway which will take you down to a storeroom. And behind behind like a wardrobe, there's an elevator. And down the elevator, you get to an underground space where you are brought to your meeting room. And there's a lovely sort of, I would say, very modern. I mean, and by modern, of course, there's a computer in the background that takes up the entire wall with lots of flashing lights because it is modern, and it probably has no memory, right? You just have to use punch cards because it's 1967, and it's this sort of large table with wonderful chairs. And sitting at the head of this table is an Indian woman who's probably in her mid-40s, dressed in a very smart sort of. Well, she's wearing pants. She's wearing trousers. She's wearing trousers, a nice suit with sort of like a sort of, I would say, like a very sort of fashionable, sort of like Coco Chanel sort of trousers with a blazer and a shirt. And she waits for you all to sit. And she goes, agents, welcome. And you all know her as Mother.
I think Jackson is sat on the in his seat with his feet up on the table, just leaning back and waiting for the debriefing or the briefing.
Now,
hello, everyone.
Jackson, when was the last time that you worked with Arabella?
Oh,
I feel like it probably went wrong the last time we worked together. So it's just like, Jackson.
Arabella.
How are you?
I've been better. And by I've been better, probably like moments ago before you'd walked in.
Meow. That's rather harsh. Hope your leg is better now.
Yes, it is.
Good.
Thank you for asking.
That's
No thanks
quite all
to
right.
you, obviously.
My word, you do hold a grudge, don't you?
Yeah.
Anyway, Mother, how are you? Hope you're having a lovely, wonderful day.
I am. Oh, Dinah, welcome.
Hello, Mummy.
Oh, Diana, how are you?
Quite well, Arabella. How are
Wonderful.
you?
Oh, I'm wonderful. Thank you.
She's got that smile on her face. Like, I'm at a party. I don't remember any of you.
Oh, you remember the time with the, funny little man?
Oh, with the thing and the...
Yes.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Mm.
Yes. How
The
are you
enormous,
keeping?
funny little man with the enormous thing. Yes, remember that?
Yes. Hard to
Yes.
forget that one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
Mother goes, well, it was a good job that you recovered that thing. It was explosive.
Oh.
Oh, my word.
Mm.
That would have been interesting. Anyway, yes. Do I hear the tap of a cane?
You do. You do hear the tap of the cane as Walter walks in. I must ask, Diana, what was the last mission you were on with Walter?
Ooh, I think the last mission that Diana and Walter were on was more of an intelligence gathering mission, and we had to infiltrate a gala, and we had to pretend that we were together at this gala, and it was the most uncomfortable mission that Diana has been on in some time because she and Walter clash. Diana's a lovey, and Walter is like he's got a broom up his butt. So Diana is like, So she had to try very hard that mission not to, get drunk.
He's super public school.
Yeah,
Very much so. Doesn't know how to have
Oh.
fun.
The fun happens when you all arrive on time, and it seems that we have.
Well, we
Good day,
were on
all.
time. You're late.
Uncharacteristically, Walter, darling, what has kept you so long?
Mm.
Well, my watch is on time, so yours must be running ahead. Please, let's adjust them all together so that they run simultaneously, please.
and you
Oh, I
can
don't
see
have a
this
watch.
like
I don't have a
bank
watch.
bank
How
of
do you
clocks
arrive
on the
anywhere?
wall, like from different cities, right? Because if this is a good international spy place, you have each like cities all around the world with the clocks on each one on the
Tokyo,
wall.
New York,
Yes.
London.
Bangkok, like each place,
Milan.
Milan. So you're like, oh. And Mother goes, well, everyone, we have a problem that can only be solved by,
I
well,
look at Jackson.
Spy Team 67, our best agents. Well, do any of you know the town Little Boomer by the Sea?
I believe I vacationed there once. It's quaint.
Oh,
Sounds right.
no one really vacations there. It is quaint. Well, if you do not know, it's by Newcastle. It's on the eastern shore. Now, Little Boomer by the Sea is, well, one of our best fishing villages, but also one of our most remote, and times have been hard for Little Boomer. Never was really all that interesting, although there was a bit of smuggling in the 18th and 19th century. But the village itself, well, doesn't have much going for it besides lobster and salmon. Now, as after the war, there was an old derelict Air Force base there, not too far outside of Little Boomer, which has been decommissioned and is a bit empty now. And ever since then, there's been nothing for the town. The town itself has been, well, as in some small towns do, the young people have left and gone to the city. They've gone to Newcastle, Manchester, Liverpool, or I suppose London, and leaving only the older people there in the village. And the village itself has not much going for it. There was some sort of move, I think, to make it sort of a bit of a tourist destination. And she looks over at Walter, not quite successfully, I'm afraid. I
Got
wouldn't
a
think
very
much.
good discount.
Yes. There's not much there. I wouldn't think much about Little Boomer by the Sea at all. Most people don't even realize it exists. Except, not too long ago, we found the body of one of our agents, washed up, well, not at Little Boomer, but not too far away. But in his pocket, there was a brochure for the Little Boomer by the Sea lighthouse, and we did not send him there. So we sent in another agent to just infiltrate Little Boomer, small town, not many strangers. We need a bit of a ruse. We sent that agent up there to go and see how our old agent went. Well, that agent never came back. So we sent a third agent up there to Little Boomer by the Sea just to see what was going on, and, well, that agent never came back either. So we sent a fourth agent, and
Mother, I hope you don't mind me interrupting.
yes,
How many agents did he end up sending before calling us?
4. We
What
thought
happened
it
to
might
the
be.
fourth?
Oh, well, I'm so glad you asked. The fourth, we did find him alive, sort of. His hair was all white. He seemed to have had the fright of his life. He's sort of insensible. He just mentioned and mumbled about, well, and Mother looks directly at Arabella. Ghosts.
Huh.
Don't get her
Fascinating.
started.
Excuse me, I'll have you know that I am an expert in the arcane and the uncanny. Thank you very much. Just because you don't believe in it.
I don't believe in things that aren't real. So yes, I don't believe in it.
They are real.
Agents,
Sorry.
rather than one at a time, we're going to send all 4 of you to Little Boomer by the Sea. Your mission is to find out what is happening in this village. We've lost, well, 4 agents. Something sinister is happening in this quaint little village, and I expect you all to find out.
Of course, Mother.
On the
Indeed.
case.
You'll probably need some sort of cover. If there's anything you need to know, let me know. Any questions?
The names of the agents that Dad were missing?
Yes. John, Paul, George, and Ringo. Smith,
What
Jones.
silly names.
I know, yes. Smith, Jones, Turpin, and Lennon. They
What
were,
an unusual congregation.
Very odd.
yes.
What sort of name is Ringo? Honestly, that's ridiculous.
Never catch on.
No, I don't think so. I think we probably made a mistake by sending them individually. We should have maybe made them a group of some sort.
Perhaps.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, they'd stick out like a sore thumb.
Probably. Yes. But groups can't be beat. So, unfortunately, 3 of them are dead. One is, well, all he does is beat the drums and mumble about ghosts.
Can we
Sadly,
talk to him before we leave?
Well, unfortunately, he's been sent to a sanitarium, and there's not much there, sadly. He's recuperating, but we don't know how long it will be before he'll be well.
Hmm.
We can
So what
get
kind of ghost is he talking about?
Well, we don't know. All he said was ghost.
That's it, just ghost.
Yes.
Very useless. Oh dear. Honestly, I think if I was scared witless by a ghost, I'd at least manage to give a proper description of what kind of ghost it was, you know?
Oh, well, I actually don't know about different types of ghosts.
Oh no, of course you don't. That's my job.
Oh, yes. Well. So, I would say we would need some sort of, I leave it up to you to sort of come up with a cover, whatever you need. They've got, they've got fishing. They've got, well, to be honest, there's really not much industry there at all. There's a small school, a schoolhouse. There's, well, what you would imagine.
I know. Artists. We can be an artists commune.
Oh,
In the north. There's no art in the
Yes.
north.
There's nothing. Mhm.
Well, look, there's beautiful cliffs and it's all very rugged and things. Artists love ruggedness, right? That's
kind of art-
landscape.
What kind of art could you make out of fish?
Modern art, taxidermy.
Oh,
So you
We shall be
propose that
traveling
we all
taxidermists then.
pose as a group of taxidermists?
It's a
I'm
thought.
pretty sure we did that the last mission we went on, and you know how that went, Arabella. I
Look, it's not my fault you tried to stuff the cat before it was dead. Okay.
listen. If I thought it was dead, I didn't realize it was asleep. Okay, I don't think it will work this time around, though.
Yeah, but you've only got one
Look.
leg left anyway, don't you?
In the north, they're going to see right to that. I've heard things about northern people. They're very down to earth, very gruff, very no nonsense. So what if, I hate to propose this, Walter and I again pose as a affluent couple, and you two could be perhaps artists that we are supporting, maybe?
Yes, I think that went very well last time.
All right, yeah,
We
that's
were
fine.
efficiently convincing.
I'll
I
bring
mean,
my watercolor set. That's fine. I can do watercolors.
well, if you're going to be
I
posing
have a
as
hammer. I can just say that I'm a sculptor.
Ah, well, in this case, you may wish to meet with the Baronet, Sir Bartleby Bainbridge. He's the Baronet of Little Boomer by the Sea. I've not actually don't know much about him. A bit of an eccentric, that fellow.
They usually are.
Yes,
Does he have a library?
I imagine so. I think it's probably the most extensive grounds. Now, of course, he's only a baronet, so he's not that important, but I imagine he's someone that might be useful.
Possibly.
everyone's important enough when they have information we want.
Indeed. He's not been seen about much. He stays in Little Boomer, but he might be a good contact.
A recluse. I do love a challenge, Mummy.
I know you do. Yes. I've got train tickets. And do come back alive.
Oh, of course.
And on it,
Dream of dying on the job.
Good,
It's
good.
an amateur thing to do.
So let us smash cut to the train. All four of you are on the train heading towards a Little Boomer. The train does not stop in the town. You're going to have to stop a little bit earlier and then travel your way to Little Boomer by the sea. And as you're on this train car, it's sort of lovely, you've got just space for the four of you, and it's a lovely, lovely train ride. It's quite a long ride as you're going all the way up north. And as you're waiting there, about halfway there, a man, a fairly large, broad man, sort of makes his way into your train car and tries to find a spot and sort of wedges himself. I would just like to ask, if you've got these two banks, who's sitting next to whom?
I am absolutely sitting diagonally opposite Jackson. As far away, it's just like, meh.
yeah.
I will be sitting across from my acted lady love.
Ah,
I think to really sell the posh people who are a couple, we're as far apart as possible.
Separate beds, separate bedrooms, separate lives.
yeah, I see it. And this fellow, see, he comes in and he sort of looks. It's a little bit tricky because he's like, oh, not quite certain where to sit. He's going to wedge himself in between Walter and Jackson, sort of just sitting right in between you two. And he's got like a nice sort of bag with him, and he's clearly sort of. It's like luggage, but it's kind of like a sea bag. It's like a canvas bag. And he sort of wedges himself in between. He goes, "Ooh, afternoon. How are you both doing? How are you all doing?"
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Good. Where are you traveling?
Isn't there another seat you could have sat at?
Ooh, no.
I'm going back to sleep.
I'm just
Go
like
the rest of
nose
the-
in a book, just like
Ooh, is that a hammer? He taps at you,
Yes.
Jackson. Ooh,
Yes, it is.
ooh, that's lovely. He pulls out like a photograph of himself, and this fellow, he's like sort of broad. He seems to have has had his nose broken once or twice. Um, sort of big forearms. He's got black hair that's thinning a little bit. And you see this photograph of him a little bit younger next to another fellow, like dark black hair and a big bushy beard, who's even sort of broader and bigger than him. And then next to him in this photograph is a woman, dark black hair that's sort of like in a bun, and she's even broader and bigger than the other one. All three of them look exactly the same. And he goes, "Ooh, that's right there in the middle. That's me brother, and that's me sister, and she's the blacksmith. So are you also a blacksmith?"
No, I'm not a blacksmith. I'm a sculptor. I'm a sculptor.
Oh, art. Oh,
Yes. Yeah.
I see. Well,
He's a very accomplished sculptor, of course.
oh, well, I don't know much about art, but my sister's the blacksmith of Little Boomer by the Sea. I'm gonna go visit her. It's a surprise. It's a surprise visit.
Ah,
Well, I hope you have fun. And he's kind of like staring at Diana, like, save me. like, he's not great at talking. I hope you have fun.
Why don't you tell him about your sculpting?
Oh, I don't sculpt.
No. Jackson should tell you about his sculptor. He's won tons of awards for sculpting.
Oh, did you? Well,
Yes, I have.
what's that
I
like?
have won many.
Huh?
I try to stay humble.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
I don't let it get to my head.
Oh. So what do you sculpt then? Do you sculpt like what?
Naked
Anything that
men.
gives-
Naked men. Love
Ooh.
sculpting naked men.
Yes.
The nuder the better.
Oh, well, I've never sculpted naked men, but I do like a good naked man.
I'm
course,
sorry.
there's-
I think we've gotten very personal all of a sudden. So I feel like at least I should at least ask your name.
Oh, Matthew. I moved to London from,
And you're going to, okay. Well,
Little Boomer.
Matthew, I'm glad to know that you're also a fan of naked men.
Yes.
I'm going to go back to sleep, but I would like to say that I'm actually, and my friend over here, Arabella, is actually a fellow artist. I'm not a
Oh.
sculptor. I think she's more of a finger painter. Arabella,
Oh.
why don't you tell our friend here, Matthew, about your arts? Well, I
Oh,
go back to sleep
watercolors, not finger
Oh,
painting. Watercolors.
with
Yes,
your fingers, right? I remember you made that
No.
a very big point the last time.
No, I was giving you the finger. Big difference. But no.
Oh,
I do landscapes. It's not very interesting.
Oh, nice. And you two? It's please reach out, Matthew.
Hello, Matthew. I'm here to escort my dearly beloved wife, shows ring,
Oh.
to Little Boomer, as we are investing in these wonderful artists.
Oh, you're going to
I,
Little Boomer. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, I could give you all sorts of tips. I haven't been there
Yes.
in years, but it's a quaint village. I mean, I moved out like because it's Little Boomer. Had to go somewhere else. But it's a quaint town. If you go to first off, you got to go to the pub. The Happy Plowman. That's where they've got rooms there if you want somewhere to stay. Unless you know someone. My sister's got the smithy. You could go visit her. Yeah, it's a great place. I haven't actually spoken to my brother, my sister in a couple of years, and we had a bit of a falling out. But well, I got a letter from my sister just a little while ago saying that somebody wanted to buy the smithy and buy it off them, and I told them not to sell because it's our family's legacy and all that. And well, she said she wouldn't, but she'd been getting a little bit of pressure, and I just thought I'd just pop up just to say hello and see how everything's going because I haven't heard from him in a while.
Diana snaps back a compact that she's been behind the whole time because one of her personality traits is she's always touching up her makeup.
Mhm.
So she's adjusting. She snaps it shut. She's, Matthew, that is a wonderful story. Why don't you tell me more about what it's like back home in Little Boomer? I'm very
Oh.
interested in the area. You see, I'm heiress to the Darling fortune, and we might
Oh.
invest in the area, you see.
Oh, investment. Whoa, well, that would be lovely. I mean, the entire town is we haven't had a lot of investment in there in a while, and everything's been a little bit, what do you call it? A little bit run down, you know? I mean, but it's a good village. You got maybe, maybe 120 people that live there, and a couple good families. There's that sort of strange baronet that lives up on the side, but, he's harmless for the most part. Doesn't have his nose too stuck up in the air. Sort of glances slightly over at Walter. Good salt of the earth sort. Ooh.
I hear he has an extensive library.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah, I think there's a whole thing, where he was like trying to collect old books. Was a thing about him. Just goes traveling a lot to get old books from all sorts of places, I think.
Oh,
Well, people sometimes they let people come to go see his library. I didn't do it much myself.
oh, really? Tell me more. And yes, and what kind of rare books does he have?
Well,
Just out of curiosity.
Well, I don't rightly know, but it's always a bit, he used to be talking all the time to the headmistress, about sort of all sorts of things. But, well, she left the village. I think we're supposed to I think we got a new one, but I'd left by the time the new one arrived. Oh, no, I heard about the new one. Well, she was a young thing. She was from, where is she from then? Well, I don't know. I think she was probably from the Caribbean or something like that, the new headmistress. Ooh, but I haven't met her myself. Ooh. I think her name was something French. Anyway, that was the new headmistress. Anyway, he's all right. This fellow, I remember he'd go on and on about how, he wanted to be like captain of the industry and something like this. And I remember once he got quite drunk. Oh, I shouldn't say. That's a bit rude. I won't say.
Oh, no, you should absolutely. It's all right. We're all friends here, surely.
Well, I don't want to talk out of turn.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. Seriously, don't pay it no mind. Don't worry. I'm intrigued by what you're saying.
Oh well, he always said that he deserved better than Little Boomer. That he wanted to be in the House of Lords or something. But I don't think it happened. Because he's a baronet only, and seemed a little bit bitter about it, and a little bit bitter about the fact that the town weren't doing so well and weren't making so much money and all that. But well, what can you do about it, right? Well, not everybody can run away from their family and just move to London. I mean, just stay away for a couple of years and see what happens. Anyway, it's a good town. I can show you about if you want. I'm gonna go and I'll be staying with me family, but if you want, I can meet you in the pub.
Like Diana reaches over and she does like one of those like over friendly but like very polite like little knee touches. That would be wonderful, thank you.
Oh, right. And the little train, it stops right there, right at Anik, and you can hear the whistle blow, and sort of the doors like, oh well, this is about where we're gonna go. If you want, I can accompany you to Little Boomer. I know how to get there if you want.
Just a little groan comes out from Jackson, but he doesn't say anything.
Death glare. Just
Oh,
Perhaps
are you
we
all
should
right?
share a taxi.
Oh, I'm sorry. There aren't any taxis around here then. We're going to have to go with it. I hope you don't mind. We're going to have to go with probably like a cart.
I don't believe I've ever ridden on a cart, but it shall be a new experience.
we're all for adventure, aren't we, darling?
Oh,
I do hope it doesn't rain.
oh, it rains all the time up here. It's very rainy. Oh, it'll be all right though. Come on.
Walter, you brought an umbrella, right?
I did.
Good. Okay.
And he covers himself with it.
Don't put your umbrella up indoors, Walter.
When he gets outside.
Okay. This is dreadful luck. What are you on about?
Luck factors into nothing, Arabella.
Luck
Everything
factors into everything.
Not if
Walter.
you calculated correctly, but
Walter, I've tried arguing this with her. There's no getting to her. It's all ghosts and luck with her, honestly.
Mrs. Darling, can I? And like he leads you out, and there's like a cart with horses, and like, you know, like it's sort of meant for like sort of moving back and forth, some produce and whatnot, but it's a little bit empty. And he sort of waves to a fellow and he goes, "Hey, we're going to Little Boomer. Would you mind taking us?" And in the cart, there's already a woman, and she's there sitting. And this woman is wearing like a, oh gosh, it's so 1960s, like a kind of like a shawl that's got like a paisley in it, and she's got a turban on, but like the kind of turban that's like a high fashion turban that like is just like that sort of like fabric, and it's a little bit glittery, and she's got sort of like blue eyeshadow.
My nan used to have one of them.
Yes, you know what I'm talking about. It is exactly that sort of
Yes.
thing. And that she's sitting there on this cart, and Matthew will like put his hand out to go and help Diana up, and then Arabella next.
Oh, thank you.
Jackson just jumps on.
Oh, all right, sir. And he sort of points to Walter. Do you need help?
Yes, please.
He helps you up. And now there are 6 of you in this cart. And Matthew goes, "Oh, boy, will you just take us to Little Boomer? It's not too far." And the guy goes, "Oh, if you want, I don't think you should, on account of the ghosts."
I told you there were ghosts.
And the woman perks up at this. Just this notice the ghosts, and the cart heads off. And you're sort of heading off down this sort of narrow sort of it's not paved, it's sort of a wooden road with sort of like ditches on the side, and you're sort of going through there's some trees. It's very sort of scenic, and you can sort of peek out the ocean here and there when the sort of bridge clears, the tree clears. And the man there who's driving is sort of like drawing the horses, and it's sort of calm, and everyone's seated quietly in this moment. And the woman, she looks at you all of you, all 5 of you, and she says, "Tell me, why are you braving the ghost of Little Boomer? It's dangerous, you know."
It's for the art.
So we'd do anything for our art.
Artists? Are all of you artists going to Little Boomer?
No, the least dangerous thing here is the business opportunity.
Business opportunities. Interesting. How long do you intend to stay in Little Boomer?
Until the art is complete.
And Matthew goes, "Well, my family lives there. My brother and my sister's," and he pulls out the photograph. "See, she's a smith of Little Boomer," and he shows her the photograph of these like super like, and she's one of the best smiths. She could, you know, shoe a horse real fast. I don't know if you've ever. And this woman goes, "I don't deal with horses."
What do you deal with, madam?
He just asks the question.
I deal with the undead.
Okay,
The
so I'm going to sleep.
supernatural.
I
They're good
see.
associates.
And she looks at you. "Yes, I know everything about all that is supernatural."
How many seances have you run then?
So many. More than you could ever imagine. I am a medium. I can channel.
Look
The
more like a
undead.
large to me. I'm sorry, what? Oh, wonderful. Yes. You channel the undead, you see.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
So you've come here to Little Boomer to commune with the dead, the ghosts.
Yes. That is why I do not recommend you go to Little Boomer. It is too dangerous.
Really?
The vibrations are too heavy.
Oh, the vibrations. Mhm.
Yes. The vibrations.
Well,
What
the
if
card
I
has no
told you?
suspension.
That as a girl, my grandmother said I was sensitive.
Really?
Mm.
And she puts her hands out on your forehead immediately. We have entered our first threat.
Oh shit.
Good.
This is like a fairly mellow sort of a threat. I'm going just to pull out, let's say, 6 threat only. 6 out of our total. And our first challenge is going to be a hazard, which means I get to direct. Well, so first off, for this particular challenge that we have, which is your challenge is getting in to Little Boomer, the 3 appropriate skills will be occult, athletics, and wits. Your challenge is coming into the town. Those are the 3 appropriate skills: occult, athletics, and wits. And I'm going to start with a hazard. So I have 6. I'm going to spend one of my 6 threat, bring you down to 5. This is going to be an occult hazard. And Arabella, it is to you. As this woman with a lot of rings.
She is on my turf.
Puts
and she needs to
forehead
step the hell off.
on her hand on Diana's forehead, and she goes, if you have vibrations, then it's even more dangerous for you. And Little Boomer, the ghosts will be drawn to you, and they may consume you, as ghosts are wont to do. Could you, Fuzzy, roll your occult? I've got a threat of 2 is what I have. So I get to roll 2 dice.
So I roll 5 dice, yes?
Yes, please. Please do.
Right. Oh God, there should be a roll. Is there a rolling thing?
Yes, if you go to your macro.
Yeah, got it. Right. Yes. Okay. And so I roll 5 dice. Right.
Yes, please.
Skadoosh.
How many successes did you get?
4.
Well, all right. I'm going to roll my 2. I only get 2 because there's nothing that allows me to boost this at the moment. I get 0 successes. That's a terrible roll on my part. You have 4 successes. You succeed. You have a choice. You can reduce the threat by 1, taking the threat pool down to 4. And once you get to 0, you succeed in getting into Little Boomer. Or if you wanted to, you could pass those successes on instead to one of your other party members. It's up to you.
I would like to give my successes to Diana.
Ah, all right. Now that said, you can get 4 details, 4 facts, 4 elements about this. And if you like, you can ask me to give you information for those 4 successes as well. You get to make up some things, or you can ask me for some things for those 4 successes that you have. Oh, and also, because you got way more successes than I had dice, you can add a skill that you would like to this challenge. If you think there's a challenge that you would like to add to the 3 that I've given you: occult, athletics, and wit.
I don't know. I can't think of anything. So
I'll let you hold on to it if you like. I'll let you add it and you're like, wait, this should be good. So what would you like to add? Just details or facts you'd like to ask me for?
I think I would like to ask, I don't know, yeah. How genuine does she, how much of a faker does she seem to be?
That is a great question to ask for one of your successes. You are an expert in the arcane.
Goddamn right I am.
You know a lot about the occult and the supernatural. This woman does not. She does not. It seems to you that she's a person who's studied enough to be able to speak on it convincingly, but your assessment is that she is a complete fraud. However, as an expert on the occult, you're also an expert on frauds of the occult, right? People who are fakers, who are not real occultists. And you know their vibe. Like, you know what they do, you know what they're about. Usually money, right? Taking advantage of people who've lost someone to get money from them. and you know what they do and how they work. This woman does not have the skills of a fake occultist, right? You know how fake occultists work and what their angles are like and how they tend to approach people. They tend to be like, for example, very good at cold readings. They tend to be angling for certain things, and she's not doing any of those things. She's presenting herself as if she's an occultist, but she does not have the skills of neither an occultist nor a fake occultist.
So she just thinks she is. She's genuine in as much as she thinks she's an occultist, but she doesn't actually have a leg to stand on, kind of thing. She's just deluded. It's like, oh yes, all my friends say I'm sensitive, kind of thing.
Maybe, but you do get this sense that there's a bit of a lie about her, right? There's a bit of a misdirection about her, perhaps. So perhaps she's here for perhaps she wants to come here for some other reason. And this is perhaps a pose. But she's clearly done enough studying to know something about the occult.
Right. So she's about as much of an occultist as I am a painter.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'll give you those that's 2 of your 4.
Okay.
And then you could add, or you can ask. Or you can impact somebody in the scene as well. Like you've got 2 more things you can do with that.
Okay. What does impact do again?
Like for example, you could, I mean, if you wanted, you could have her drop something, or like you can like do like a little bit of a narrative detail.
Having her drop something would be interesting. Yeah. What does she drop?
Ooh, and that, yes. Well, yes, she can drop a clue. So as she like puts her like hand out, like just like slightly violently and very dramatically, one of her earrings, it's a clip-on, sort of like flies off and skitters and bounces across the cart right by your foot, but she doesn't notice.
I just gently put my foot over it without her noticing.
That said, that's their only hazard. There are, all 3 of you are left, and you can do this as you will. And when you want to sort of make a roll, that is on you. As she puts her hand on your forehead, Diana says, whatever you do, you especially should never go to Little Boomer. It's too dangerous for someone who's so sensitive.
Diana suppresses a little giggle and she turns to Walter and says, do you hear that, darling? It's maybe the very end of me if I go to Little Boomer.
I would never let someone I care about so much get into so much danger. Yes. Thank you for the warning, madam.
Oh, of course. So, there's no need for you to go to Little Boomer at all, is there?
Of course.
Though perhaps, hand, chest, perhaps we merely need spiritual protection.
Perhaps. Are you sure you're convinced that you must go to Little Boomer? You know, I'm going there to expose everything. Everything.
Well,
what sort of things are you looking to expose?
The ghosts.
As real ghosts, or as, men in masks?
No, real ghosts. They're quite real.
Uh-huh.
You heavy-set person with large forearms, she points to Matthew, you definitely shouldn't go to Little Boomer. Too dangerous. Family curses. And the driver goes, hey, yep, shouldn't go. Dangerous.
Family curses.
She says, yes, there are always family curses in old villages. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't know of one, you're just saying, you're just assuming that there's...
There's always something like that. I'm just trying to protect your life. I have a premonition.
Oh.
Of danger.
Uh-huh. Anything more specific?
Danger?
I mean, a cart accident? You know,
Fall down the stairs.
sudden attack by wild rabbits.
Ooh,
A stubbed toe.
ooh.
Toothache's bad. That's always a
It's-
danger.
Take my hand. Perhaps with my energies and yours, we can narrow down this danger.
She
Perhaps
takes your
tell me if
hand.
my shoes will get wet.
Wet shoes, terrible.
You have occult athletics and wits, my dearest Diana. What would you like to roll as she is sort of holding your hand tightly, trying to sort of get the vibrations?
Well, we'll go wits. I think that's the closest thing for
Mhm,
Diana.
mhm. Yes. Please roll your wits as you grab her hand as she is concentrating very, very, very deeply.
That is 2 successes.
That is a 2 indeed. Let me roll mine. A 1. That is a success on your end. Oh no, wait, I'm so sorry. You got 4 extra successes from.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, you did. And as you grip her hand and she has her eyes tightly shut, holding onto it, you notice the cart sort of turn off a sort of a side road, which I'm sure is how you're going to get to Little Boomer. I'm sure I wouldn't think much about it, except for one of those successes, you notice the sign to Little Boomer going the other direction than the way the cart is going. Would you like to reduce the threat of your scene?
Sure thing. I think in the moment, Diana's holding her hand. She's got one eye closed, one hand in her chest, dramatically copying this woman. But she has like one eye open, and she sees this and sort of like kicks Walter in the shin and gestures with her head at the sign.
And the cart picks up just a little speed, not too much, but the horses just go a little bit faster. Or maybe it's just the spirits. That leaves Walter and Jackson.
I'll go last because I do think
Yeah.
Jackson tries to go back to sleep. So like they're just
Yeah.
laying his eyes shut.
Okay. Yeah, I think Walter would like to roll some wits for this. He's keeping a weather eye out.
And please roll. And I have 2 bonuses that I can do, and I'm going to invoke one of them, which is well connected, which gives me an extra die for social situations, which this is. And as you're trying to keep your wits about you, she notices you sort of looking, and she grabs your hand as well. And she goes, no, no, no. Be with me. Feel the vibrations. As she tries to catch your attention, as the cart goes just a little bit faster down the wrong road. Please roll your wits.
Yes, of course. I got 4.
Ooh, I've got a 1. What would you like to do with that? Would you like to reduce threat?
Yes.
And as she grabs you, trying to sort of keep your attention away from the journey, you notice that she gives a brief eye glance to the driver, who gives the briefest nod in return as the cart goes just a little bit faster, and you hear something. 2 things. 1, the driver go, rule Britannia, Britannia rules the waves. Britons, and like as he just kind of sings it and starts humming, and like it's just a little loud. If you did not roll so well, you probably would not have heard the other thing. The crack of wood coming from the forest, as if a tree trunk is breaking. You have some successes. Would you like to add, each one of you actually has, well, Josh, you can add another appropriate skill to this challenge if you like. And you can also ask me some questions or add details.
Okay, yes. I would like to add the fight skill
Mhm,
as I
mhm,
uh,
mhm.
elbow
Yeah.
Jackson in the ribs
yep,
as he's
yep.
trying to get some shut eye.
Yep. Mhm,
Um, and
It's go-
yeah,
mhm, mhm.
Okay.
I nudge and I would like to add a detail in
Yes, please.
that I upset some of the apples in this cart and cause a little bit of chaos
Yes. Yes.
to mask various things being passed around or looked at.
I think that is fair. I think that is fair. So these apples just fall out of the cart, and you can hear her humming, right, as she's grabbing both of your hands quite tightly, and she has a very strong grip. And the driver is just going a little bit faster, and Jackson, you get elbowed as you hear like the sound of wood ahead of you sort of creaking. And also, Susie, you have a detail you may add as well if you like.
Ooh, okay. I think the detail I would like to add is that in the chaos, the our luggage cases containing our mission equipment becomes more accessible to us. You know,
Oh,
it sort of scoots out from
Yes.
maybe underneath the seats.
Yes, absolutely. Because it's jostling, the whole thing is just so
so
absolutely. Jackson,
Yeah.
it is you. We have 4 skills that are appropriate: fight, occult, athletics, and wits. You're going faster than you should, not towards the village you should be going towards, and there is some sort of ominous sound that is heading towards you in the future down the road.
Ooh. Jackson is not he's not known for subtlety, so he kind of goes, oh, okay.
And some kind of nod between her and the driver.
So he kind of like groans, goes, I was hoping we'd do all of this kind of stuff in little beamer, but okay. And he gets up, like balanced. Is it like an open cart? It's
Yes,
like
it
an
is.
electric cart. Cool. Yeah, he stands up, tries to balance himself, and just goes, excuse me, pardon me, and tries to like climb over to the driver's seat and like honestly just elbow the driver in the side of the head to take the reins off them.
As you go to attack this driver, this poor innocent driver, you notice something about him. He is very strong looking, very muscular looking, in a way that doesn't seem like a how do I put this? Matthew looks big and burly because he probably has worked quite a lot with his hands. This particular driver has quite smooth hands, but is yet quite strong, but not in a kind of like a working person way, but a person
Like a
who's
gym kind, probably like
a gym kind of a way, yes.
okay.
And you also notice in his hand a blackjack, a short, small club. I will invoke my deadly to increase
Interesting.
my dice for fight
Okay.
by 1, my threat dice.
What can I do with bonuses again?
You can use that, I believe, to reduce the threat by an extra one, I believe, is your...
Yes. Okay. After I've overcome it though, so I don't think
Yes.
I can do it before.
I roll
Okay.
a 2. 2 successes for me.
What? Let's see what I roll. 2.
Ooh, it's a tie. You know what happens with a tie?
The threat increases.
It does.
Oh,
we
boy.
each roll now with an extra die, and the scene gets worse. So let's see. How is the scene going to get worse at this moment? Describe to me how you come after this driver.
Things like very casual. He doesn't even look like he's going to fight. He just kind of like very casual, like, oh, excuse me, pardon me, and just plops down the seat next to the driver and just goes for an elbow to the side of the head. They probably, I assume they just see it coming, so they probably catch it and try and swing with their little club before you can do any actual damage.
But now the extra complication is the cart starts careening, right? Starts careening out of control. Now we roll again with one more die, my friend, as things get worse.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you have a 4. Okay. Ooh, I roll a 2. You get me. You can reduce the threat by 2 if you like, because you are a bruiser and you're in a physical fight.
Yeah, I want to do that. I'm going to reduce the threat by 2.
So tell me what you do as your success.
I think what I want to do is like he goes for an elbow and he actually does swing the club and it like smacks him over the head. And I'm going to go with like a not mechanically, not motif, but like storytelling wise, my motif is that I get like when things get tense, there's a very odd camera angle where you zoom into his eyes and you just see the weird flare and glare of the light on his lenses, what you can't see, and you just see him clench his jaw and just goes, "You shouldn't have done that." As you see like blood trickle down his head, and he just punches. We used the other hand to punch this driver in the face. And would reducing the threat, could I knock the could they drop the club? Would that kind of reducing the threat? Yeah,
absolutely.
Just
You can
knocks
actually
him so hard.
You can actually just take him out if you like.
Oh, in fact, yeah.
Yes.
I think he headbutts him then. I think he headbutts him off the car.
And the driver goes careening off the cart. We have one threat left, and I'm going to use it because we finished the turn, for a hazard roll. You're in charge of this cart, Jackson, and in front of you, you see a tree falling, and it's going to hit your cart. I'm going to need a drive roll from you.
Oh boy.
Because it's a hazard.
Yeah.
And that's the skill.
3.
Okay, 3 is good. I have 2. Let's see. Let me roll it. 1. This is going to end the threat. Tell me how you all get out of this, how you resolve it, and how you get into Little Boomer.
Okay. Behind me, can I still see the
driver?
medium?
Oh, the medium. Oh, yeah, the medium. She's got her like a death grip on both of our married couple, and she's continuing to hum, but she's got like one little eye cracked.
While I'm got this car, I'm just gonna shout. What would I say? Get ready. Remember the Manchester mission, and that's all he says. And he just swerves a hard right, and in the hopes that in the Manchester mission he also did this, but in a car, on a speeding car. Everyone's on the roof of it, and I had to get everyone ready before he did a swear to knock the people fighting on the roof of the car off. So I'm hoping that everyone gets ready, like, oh, that's what happened last time, let's get ready, and then so that the medium gets flown off instead of everyone else.
Are you drifting a cart?
Yes,
I'm drifting a cart.
It's Little Boomer drift. It's Too Fast, Too Furious, 67. Little Boomer drift. You have the details to do it. The medium flips, like the cart bucks, right? And the medium flips. Now, the question is, married couple, Diana and Walter, do you let her hands go?
I think in the chaos, Diana brings up, in 60s like spy stuff, they always did really over exaggerated karate chops. She does like a karate chop on the medium's arm to break the grip on her hand, and then sort of like as the cart like drifts, she sort of like does one of those alternate angle was clearly filmed in a different studio stunt roll off the side.
Yes. I have a question. Is it a stunt double that's very obviously the different person?
Oh yeah, different colored hair and everything,
Yes,
completely different body type.
And the medium has got her hand still on Walter as slow-mo, right? As she's beginning to pitch out of this cart.
Walter breaks her grip there's a very tight camera angle to save money.
Of course.
on, this whole thing swirling in the background. It's just like something green and brown just spinning in the background as he just like does some weird kind of pinch on her wrist, and she just goes, ah.
And she falls out this medium, and as the cart goes forward, the tree falling behind you, the medium and the driver are like unconscious, of course, out in the back as your carriage, your cart, sort of moves down this road. And Matthew goes, "Oi, you'll probably want to go, well, right that way. That's how I get to Little Boomer."
Yeah, okay. I'll get us there as quickly as possible.
As we
You
head off,
seem
by the
awfully
way.
calm,
Oh, sorry.
Matthew. I just want to
Yeah.
say that.
As we head off, I'm going to reach down and pick up the earring.
Yes. As your cart moves closer towards Little Boomer and you can see the village coming up in the distance, you look at this earring. Arabella, this is what you would expect, I would imagine, is some tacky fake jewelry. Yes?
Yes.
Absolutely. Some like sort of like paste jewels and all of that, gems. This, however, is not that. I would like to ask you a question. How much do you know about, tell me, you're an antiquarian. You are familiar with old things. Which parts of the world? How well versed are you in old jewelry?
Probably not that well versed, to be honest with you. Like I'm all about the books. Jewelry is just whatever. Like I've got an ancient, so I know something about maybe ancient artifacts, specifically Greek, Roman, and Egyptian. But
okay.
Jewelry, less of a thing. However, Diana, I bet Diana knows about jewelry, right? Diana, you love jewelry, right?
I do.
What do you make of this?
She like picks it up, holds it in the light, so gets a good look at the.
You're a model, yes?
Yes.
Where have you traveled?
Oh, everywhere. All over
Everywhere.
Europe, to America. Not quite cracked Asia yet, but next time.
Interesting. So this is old. Arabella's correct. This is old jewelry. It looks to be like a family heirloom. So clearly, perhaps, whoever this woman was, it was meaningful to her. It's something about, however, the way that the clasp on these earrings are made. You have seen this particular style of workmanship before. You know where? The other side of the curtain.
Oof.
I think you know what I mean.
Oof. Okay.
And as you all approach this small town of Little Boomer by the sea that is abandoned and falling apart, and everyone's left it. That should be, I mean, Walter, you were there the last time. It was like, when the last time you were there, it was like one row, it was like one street with a number of sort of houses. There was like a small inn, and a little bit to the side there was a lighthouse, beautiful beaches. Not much there. The only place to stay is this sort of pub, and then a little bit off to the side is the manor of the baronet. Very small place, not much there. And as you're sort of moving in, you see some of the fields on the sides, which have not been tilled for quite some time, clearly. There are some plows still there that are seeming a little bit rusted. The whole sort of outside, as you're moving into Little Boomer, seems somewhat abandoned. But as you get into the town itself, it is twice or three times as large as you remember. There's like a dentist shop, there's a tailor shop, there are red police, there's like a big blue police box. Like the whole place seems to have been massively industrialized recently. And you were only here a couple years ago, yeah?
Probably.
On vacation? It wasn't too long ago, I don't think, while you were here, but none of this was here. Like you have they've paved the streets once you get into Little Boomer, and there are traffic lights. There's no traffic, right? There are traffic lights. It looks a little bit like a street in London, is what it looks like, but here in Little Boomer by the sea. And you hear something in the air. A radio. And as you come into the village, which seems mostly empty, you don't hardly see anyone there, you notice that there have been put on poles, like speakers, loudspeakers throughout the village. And the loudspeakers are playing music. Specifically, Rule Britannia, Britannia rules the waves. And it's sort of like a slightly crackly, there's a bit of a sort of a fuzz underneath, like a little sort of static, as this song is sort of blasted throughout. The
They're very
loudspeakers.
patriotic here, aren't they?
Bit
Sounds like it.
too patriotic for my liking. This place is a ghost town, but Jackson, I fear you may be right. No such thing as ghosts able to do this to a town.
Indeed. Well.
You hear that, Arabella? Not a ghost, unless they know how to work radios.
You'd be surprised. You would be
Okay.
surprised.
Last stop, Little Boomer by the sea. I'm gonna
Excellent
pull
work,
up.
thank you.
I'll probably pull up near. You said there was an inn, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll
The Happy
probably pull up-
Plowman, little pub. It's got a.
Oh,
it's
like
got-
a pub, yeah. I'm going.
But
Yeah, so I'll probably stop outside the inn.
And you stop outside it in this cart. And again, the streets are empty, but completely modern, right? Like it's completely modern, this place. Empty, but you can hear the sounds of the radio coming in from the pub.
Well, I don't know about you, but I could do with a glass of champagne.
I doubt you're going to find champagne in there, but be my guest.
Anything sparkling. Honestly, I'm any port in a storm, but I just want something fizzy and restorative. Okay, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Port does sound like a good idea.
Yeah, any port in a storm. I see what you did there.
I offer our new friend a drink and invite him inside.
Matthew goes, well, if you don't mind, I want to go see my family. I, want to make sure they're all right. I mean, after that bit of a scare that we got, I just want to make sure they're all right. I mean, I've never seen a Little Boomer look like this. I don't even, well, this is not what my home looked like. So
It looked different.
Whoa.
The last time you were here?
I was only here like 4 or 5 years ago. It was the last time we visited, and well, none of this was here at all. I mean,
Well, maybe they decided to redo the place.
wait a minute. And he looks at a building. Is that a cinema? We don't have enough people for a cinema.
What are they showing?
And he looks. It's some sort of I don't know if it's some sort of film, some sort of James Bond thing. Sort of a new sort of series that's sort of coming up about.
I think I've heard of this. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere, honestly.
No, spy nonsense, honestly.
Not realistic enough.
Watch that. Yes, right?
Well,
Personally, I like a nice noir.
Oh, personally, well, I'm gonna go visit my family. I've got to figure out where my smith is. It was supposed to be down the road and to the left, but with all this changes, well, I'm gonna go visit them. And when I come back, I'll meet you in the pub.
Oh, certainly, yes. Well, good luck. Hope they're all right.
Yes. If anything seems odd, let us know.
Oh, well, will do. All right. And he sort of hops off and he puts his hand out to go and help the ladies and also Walter, because he's not very burly. Open the cart. And he takes his canvas bag and he heads down the road past the cinema and sort of takes a right to sort of find the smithy where his family lives, leaving you in front of this pub.
Ah, lovely man. Salt of the earth.
Yeah.
Let's hope he doesn't end up being one with the earth. This place does seem oddly deserted.
Well, I guess we'll find out. Let's head in, shall we? I just march into the pub and just like have a look around.
I do want it stated because this is a different location. Diana is in a different outfit.
Oh.
Nice.
Yes. What are you wearing now?
Does anyone like acknowledge it? Or just like just change?
No,
it
we're
now?
used to it.
It never gets acknowledged. It's just one of those
Okay.
TV things. I think on the train in, she was wearing like a Jackie Onassis sort of like very proper ladies outfit. And now she's a little bit more relaxed. It's like a little tube dress. The kinky boots have appeared because that is one of her clothing things. So she's got the vinyl boots. She's got some statement earrings. The makeup is much bigger than what it was. That's how she's dressed now.
I love it. When you walk in, the entire pub is full of people. Like the entire pub. There's like it's very, very crowded. And the song is playing. Rule Britannia is just playing. And in this pub, you've probably got maybe 10, 15 people. It's like sort of a large amount. The publican has got this massively huge handlebar mustache. And when I say huge, it's like thick and giant. And he's there behind. And like, now I'm going to just note for the record, he's probably the oldest person here at about late 30s, late 40s. Everybody else in this town looks to you to be about, in this pub, looks to be about 20, 21, 22, all very, very fit. And all of them are dressed in, all of the men are dressed in bowler hats with pinstripe suits and a beautiful tie. All of the women are dressed in the most current but upper class women's fashions. Very current, very modern, sort of conservative. And Diana, you know these, actually both Diana and Walter would know both of these things. They read to you as rich aristocrats, is I think the best way I would put it, sort of upper class, or like upper middle class, bankers, sort of important sorts of people, all of them, but they're all youngish, so like, you know, early 20s to mid 20s. And all of them are sitting, they all have tea. All of them, they all have tea, and they all have umbrellas, and they all have like little purses. Like it's and the queen, right? There's this sort of portrait of the queen up there, and there are British flags everywhere, and the whole thing is the most British thing you could ever imagine, but only if you're looking at like a movie of Britain, perhaps. And when they all look up and they look at you, and the fellow who's behind the bar goes, "Hey, welcome in, Miss Hall. It's good to see you here. Well, in the north. Well, little boomer, welcome."
What? Hold on.
I'm so scared right
can
now.
You say that? Can you say that again, but slower?
I'll tell you, back when I was on the war.
What are you saying? What are you saying? What are you?
Sorry, Jackson. I'll translate for you. He says, "Welcome to the north, and would you like a drink?"
Okay. Yes, I would like the strongest thing you have.
Yeah, but this is England, isn't it? So would you like champagne? Well, there's champers, isn't it?
Yes, love some champers. Yes, definitely.
And he sort of pulls out this sort of champagne, very expensive champagne.
Oh, Moet.
Yeah, and he sort of pours glasses of champagne. He's, oh, so much as well. And then he sort of like pulls out some crumpets, some tea and crumpets, and a little bit of marzipan, and he sort of lays out like the most so perhaps might be a bit. Wait, what? Bangers and mash there, yes? What
time is it right now?
It's tea time.
Oh, do you have a cream tea, perhaps?
Oh, yes, of course. Everything's quite proper here.
Quick question.
I'd love a jam scone.
Quick out of character question. Is this like tea time is in high tea, or tea time is in what it is in the north is in evening meal time?
Yeah, I am
Meal
also
time.
confused.
Yes, it's well, no.
Evening
that would be-
Crumpets?
Wait.
Crumpets now?
Wait, that would be
Strange.
wrong. It should be northern tea time, but it's actually high tea time. When he says it's tea time, he means high tea. He doesn't mean it in the northern way. But he's from here. Don't worry about it. He means it in the high tea way. I'm just going to, if you don't mind, throw out some threat right now.
Uh-huh.
Oh boy.
If you don't mind. I would like that first roll, if you don't mind, Diana, to be yours. That will be the wits, if you do not mind. This is a hazard. Give me your roll.
This is 2.
A 2. This is a social situation, so I get to roll one extra one for 3. We are tied.
Mm.
Interesting. So, as you note, he says tea time, and it is not evening, it's high tea time. I would like to make the situation worse. As somebody walks in the front door behind you, and it is a woman, and she goes, "Oh, I say, hello," she says to the bartender. He goes, "Oh, yes. Oh, what's this blacksmith?" And you look at this woman who's the blacksmith, and she is slim but athletic. She's blonde. Her hair is sort of tied in a bit of a plate. She does not look at all like the photograph of the person who's supposed to be the blacksmith at all. And he sort of waves at her, and she's just carrying like a hammer, vaguely menacingly, but she's just there as she sort of walks in to see what's up. And he goes, "Oh, everything's all right." And she goes, "Yes, I say, I've taken care of everything at the smithy." And she makes a smile. Add one more die to your roll, your wits, and I will add one die to mine.
Okay.
Question: is she like build-wise like the actual
No.
blacksmith? Oh no,
Not at all. I rolled a 4.
I rolled a 2.
That's a fail on your part. So you're going to have to take a status. Click one of your boxes, which makes you dazed. So let's say what happens here is that she comes in with this sort of thing, and you're thinking about what's going on, and you miss some of the details in this thing. You're a bit distracted, right, by all of this to sort of think about some of the incongruities that you're noting that you would note. So let's go into the full situation. I feel like for this challenge, the appropriate skills would be wits would be appropriate. Persuasion would be appropriate. And what else would be a good one? I think for our third skill, let's go with we could do technology, actually.
Okay.
Would be another one that would work. So whenever you want to sort of those of you who are not our dear Diana at the moment, whenever you want to sort of make your roll, you can. And so this fellow goes, "My name is Pookie Ward. I fought in the war, of course. Please have some champagne, bangers and mash, and all that. What? And the blacksmith woman, she just sort of like sidles by you. She just kind of stays by the door, so she's just behind you, just watching you all."
So he poured out champagne for us.
Yes, he did, in this northern pub.
Okay. I think he just kind of gives it a look and looks at Arabella. I guess they're serving champagne.
Oh yes, definitely.
It's quite good.
Could we have the bottle?
Oh, yes, of course. Always rightly done. And hands you the bottle.
Thank you.
Of course. What are you doing here, little? And how long are you staying?
Oh, suddenly more intelligible. Fantastic.
Yes, well,
You see, we're artists, my friend and I, and we're this dear couple over here is going to be investing in our art. We're going to be basing on the inspiration and the muse that we get while here.
He's a sculptor, Wonderful.
Yes.
And I'm going to note that the 20 people in here, they're all looking at you.
Looking at us? Can I
Yes,
just be
they are.
like, by the way, does anybody like jewelry? And I would like to try and use my artifact to sort of
Mhm.
maybe
So-
mesmerize everybody a little bit.
So here's the thing about that. You're going to probably want to wait until somebody else rolls successfully to add occult to this scene.
Ah, okay, right. In
Right?
that case.
Because once somebody does rolls well enough and beats my roll, then they can add occult to the scene, which will give you that moment.
In that case, I'm just meaningfully fingering my amulet and looking around at my companions, just like.
Yes.
I think I'd like turn, still like facing the bartender, but I think I noticed the person who walked in, and from the conversation they had, it seems like they're the smithy here, and just goes, "You look a lot less burly than I remember the last time I came here."
You can't just say that to someone.
I'm
I
gonna
think
need
even
a
the hair,
roll
the
from
hair
you.
looks different.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a roll from you. This is a
Is that
good
you?
one.
Damn.
Persuade. I feel like this might be from you.
Yeah, I'll go
Yeah.
persuade.
Yeah. Or wits. You can do persuade or wits, whichever you prefer. Whichever.
It would have been different
The
anyway.
same.
I wrote one.
Okay, let me roll mine. My threat. I beat you.
Damn it.
Nice. She walks up to you, this woman who's clearly not as tall, clearly not as burly. Also, hands, not particularly the hands of a smith. And she walks up to you and she says, "Well, I say, it is certainly good to see you again. It's been so long. I've changed my hair color, haven't I?" And as she sort of steps up to you, she trips and like knocks into you. But as she does, very silly, nobody else sees it, she kind of knocks your knee with her hammer. Please take a status box.
Dazed. Would days work for that, or?
Yes, it is. Dazed.
Okay.
I would like to invoke my second bonus for this scene, which can be canceled by Arabella because it is not natural. I have the parasite supernatural bonus that if a status box is ticks, I can increase my threat by 2. And as she knocks him, she puts her hand right on his collar, and the sound of the radio gets a little bit louder as Rule Britannia sort of drifts through the air. And Jackson, you start feeling a little dizzy as like the static in the radio sort of feels like it's penetrating your mind.
Can I try and?
Yes, you can.
Okay,
You
in
have to
that
spend a karma to do that.
I will absolutely spend a karma, so that puts me down to 0 karma. Yeah. Yeah, I will spend a karma, just be like, "Oh, you tripped, let me help you," and I will just like grab her wrist and sort of like just, "Oh, come and sit down, have some champagne."
Jackson, for one brief moment, out of the corner of your eye, you thought you saw a ghost. But as Arabella grabs the Smith woman and brings her to a place where champagne is, it dissipates as she moves away, and the sound of the static just dissipates, and it's just Rule Britannia ruling the waves as Arabella brings this woman further away. Walter, if you want to give a bonus to our Arabella so that she might be able to use some occult here, that'll be your turn next.
That is what I was thinking of attempting.
With wits, persuasion, and technology are the appropriate skills at the moment.
I would like to remove this radio from the equation.
Ooh, okay. That would be technology.
It would be technology.
I cannot increase my threat dice anymore. I'm just stuck at 2.
Ooh, well, fortunately for me, I'm only at 3, so that's good still.
I will note that if you wanted to spend your karma, you can get an automatic success.
Ooh, I will do that.
Everyone only gets 1 karma. You can get more by having bad things happen. You may add a skill. You may have your success, and you can describe how that happens. And if you like, you can also lower the threat in the scene.
Mhm. Okay, I'm going. I have a great idea.
Do it.
Oh God.
I'm going to spill the champagne on this radio.
Mhm,
I'm going to sip at mine,
mhm,
finish it.
mhm,
Oh
mhm,
no, we're out of champagne. And I'm going to increase the threat by 1,
mhm,
but I'm going
mhm.
to take my karma back.
Yes, yes.
And I roll 3 dice.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I got 4 successes.
Okay.
No more champagne.
I will roll my 2. Yeah. Okay. We will reduce that threat. Describe how you destroyed this radio.
I nonchalantly lean on the bar and slide my elbow at onto the silver tray that's holding all of these beautiful glasses and
Mhm.
the Moe bottle, and it slides all the way to the radio and the electronics equipment, and it just crashes over it, and just the entire thing fizzles out, and the sound of Rule Britannia is greatly reduced.
Is there a big dramatic puff of smoke that comes out of the radio?
Oh yeah, and
Yes.
like little sparklers.
So
and-
yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody in the pub looks angry at Walter. Arabella.
See,
Yeah, I'd like to do my so do you want my jewelry?
oh yeah, can I add a cult to this scene?
Yes,
now?
you can. Please
Wonderful.
do.
Yeah.
Roll your occult.
Okay. Here we go. Right, so that's 5
I
dice.
only get 2 dice for this one because you.
Do, 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 do. 2
Two.
successes.
1. You cannot add a new skill because you only beat it by 1, but you do succeed. Would you like to reduce threat?
Yes, I would. I would like everybody to be like, "Whoa."
So here's what this is very interesting. Since you got that, you beat it by 1, I can give you a detail. As you sort of move this over, you notice something very interesting. And that is, as the radio starts to fizzle, you hear something in the static underneath, something that is clearly some sort of technological situation, but it's there was a chant, a ritual that you once had seen or perhaps a part of or observed.
Surely not.
And this ritual is being chanted in the static of the radio. And it is, if you remember correctly, it was something to induce like a state of hypnosis or suggestibility or hallucinations. And you know that particular sort of spell, but of course that sort of thing shouldn't work with technology, but yet it was being piped into this radio. And as you sort of do this, sort of mesmerize them, what you also notice is some of them sort of come into a suggestive state, which says to you, it worked too well on some of them, as if they had already been primed to go into a suggestive state already, as if they had been conditioned to be able to go into a suggestive state easily. But then some of the others seem not to be affected at all. But you only beat it by 1, so you don't know why. Which is the end of the turn. And I am going to do a hazard.
Uh-oh.
To spend one of my karma, one of my threat. And the hazard is going to be Pookie Warren, seeing all of this, is right. He's going to go, and he's going to go and grab a shotgun from behind the bar, and I'm going to note that it's a proper sort of English hunting.
Double
Yes.
barrel shotgun.
Double-barreled shotgun, very, very sort of like the kind that nobles, if they were going to go hunting, would have. And he's going to aim it at Walter. You're going to need an athletics.
Ooh.
As
Well,
he,
now.
this is your hazard, as he's going to try to shoot you. And since that is happening, indeed, if you might.
So, at this point, can I use my signature weapon?
Yes, you may.
So, out of the cane, with a switch of the rabbit head, he flicks a sword out of it and attempts to spin the shotgun either away from him or even out of the guy's hands.
I roll 2 successes.
Ooh.
But you get an extra die
Do.
to your, your athletics.
That's there.
This will be a fail. You whip out your sword, Cade. I want you to tell me, because you have to take another status box. Tell me how you fail as you try. This guy has the shotgun. He's going to shoot you because you mess with the radio, and you're going to get disadvantage in either social sort of action or in ingenuity skills, your choice. And tell me how this happens.
Oh, I stand on guard to attempt my disarmament, but I instead angle the barrel into my knee, and a couple of buckshot just lodge themselves in there, and I am now limping around, genuinely requiring the extra aid of my cane. And yeah, I'm gonna pick action disadvantage here.
Yep. The rest of you three, that's what happened. What would you like to do?
My suit.
Suit.
So do something.
I mean, what stats are in play right now?
So you've got wits, persuade, technology, and occult is what is currently on the table. And I will note that you can always spend your motive, you only have one, and you can spend it to give another player success, to heal one of your status boxes, or get an automatic success in something. And if I remember correctly, only Diana has her karma, correct?
I have karma as well. I haven't used mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my motif. Especially one of my teammates just got shot in the knee.
Yes.
Things are getting intense.
Yes.
It seems like things are gonna get rough in here. And yes, in
Yes,
that
you can.
case.
Yes, you
Cool.
can. Yes, you can. I want to get us through this. You've soaked up a lot of threat. Good. And so I believe you say in a persuading way with an automatic successor motif as the camera zooms up into your glasses, you say,
I'd put that shotgun down. We don't need to fight.
what skill would you like to add to this scene?
Fight.
That seems contradictory, but I'll take it. And And Pookie Warren, the only person in his like early 40s, late 30s with the shotgun, looks at your eyes behind these sunglasses and can't see them. And he looks a little distressed. And he puts the shotgun down onto the top of the bar. That gives Diana and Arabella.
Okay. Dramatic scene change. Diana is yet again in a different outfit. This time it's a black leather cat suit.
Yes!
There's a scene of her zipping it up, and it just gives you like a little hint, but not too much because this is the 60s and we have to be proper.
That's right.
Up to the neck.
Unless it's that one episode, but that's a different circumstance.
But she, she sort of slinks her way forward and she leans on the bar. And with some fast talk, which my brain is not capable of coming up right now, she wishes to attempt to persuade Pookie to tell her what's happening here, why the sudden change in mood and demeanor. Surely that was just a radio, like, the shotgun's not necessary.
Oh, I like it. Please roll your persuade.
Okay, that's gonna be a lot. That's 5. 3.
3. All right. More than my threat dice. And tell me how you convince Pookie. Tell me about this.
So there's a little sex appeal, she's leaning over the bar at him, she's talking to him in soft, soothing tones, and I think she's manifesting her ability here with keep him talking.
Yes.
So
yes.
she's trying to get him to reveal secrets because he's the one here that seems to be more switched on than everyone else.
Yeah.
So she wants him to spill the deets.
When you lean in, I can give you a detail because you rolled so well. When you lean in, you are at first having a hard time getting through to him, right? You lean in, you're doing your whole banter, and he's like, and then you notice it. He's wearing earplugs. Mm-hmm. And the people who have not been mesmerized are all wearing earplugs in the room, in the pub. And it's not like all of them, but there's like him, the blacksmith woman, and a couple of others are all wearing earplugs. And he goes, I presume because you can do that, you can make those details.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, it was just a radio. We're very British here. Everything is fine. There's no problems. Yes. Sorry. No problems. Well, I'm sure everything's fine, and you could just leave any time. I'm telling you, comrade, there's no problems at all here. This very British town.
Comrade?
What? What?
Duh.
Yet. No.
And there's like a shock and a look exchanged with my fellow spies. I believe our friends here in the bar are rather keen on the red, white, and the blue. More so the red.
Oh. Get the baronet! Arabella?
Right. Yeah. So I'm just like, right. Okay then. And I would like to try and sneak around behind some of the other people and pull their earplugs out. It's just.
Yes. You can do that with a cult, right? Because this is actually because this is not necessarily normal. What's going on here? So I would say yes.
Yeah, what I would like to do is be doing that weird chant as well while I'm pulling the earplugs out. Just
Yes, please do.
All right, come on, occult. Come on,
Yes,
occult.
please do.
Where is the thing? And
Oh, okay. Yes. Yes. Would you like to reduce threat?
Oh yes, I would love to reduce threat, please. Yes.
Yes. Tell me.
Oh,
Because
money,
You can add a new skill if you like, and you can also tell me how you affect these people whose earplugs you're taking out, because that is your success.
I guess I just hypnotize them. They're just like,
Yeah, right. Pull the earplugs out, and you chant, and all of a sudden they just sort of go into this sort of zone, and then one of them goes, "How many of you speak Russian?"
I'd say I probably do, because there's some interesting Russian books.
Mm-hmm.
I think
So
Diana would have picked some up with modeling too. She could probably hear some.
There's a lot of Russian speakers here. I'm going to be using a very bad Russian accent to indicate that I'm speaking in Russian. They'll say, "The ghost, but the ghost is not real. Why can I see ghost?" And the people whose earplugs you've taken out, who you've mesmerized, they start seeing a ghost, and they start freaking out, and they sort of like dive under the tables with military precision and start low crawling to the other end of the bar.
I think this is a job for the army, don't you?
And that's when, to end the scene, well, this threat, a man walks into the bar, and he's wearing sort of gumboots, and he is the baronet, and he walks in, and he's not really paying attention, and he goes, "Well, I mean, I feel like our training is going quite well. I feel like at any time now, you'll all be able to pass yourselves off as good British." Oh, as he sees you all.
Baronet, I'm afraid we're here to take you in.
Oh, well, that's awful. I guess well, they laughed at me in university. They said it didn't amount to much, but I said I'd show them. Well,
If I live, old chap.
Indeed. Well, before I go, could I have a spot of tea?
Oh, I think that could be arranged.
And he gets his tea, and as you sit around with the baronet, who's nicked, the bar full of Russian agents who've been learning how to be good, proper British people, are mostly mesmerized. They just kind of sit there, in their sort of movement. And I want to note for the record, it's very important to note that whenever we look at them, the camera switches angles, and there's a little bit of a swirling pattern in the back. As the baronet, who was laughed at university, is having his tea, he clearly was training everyone how to be good, proper British people. What do you all do in your outro?
I think I'm probably behind the bar, my home, my safe space. Probably got the tea ready. Definitely put a little bit extra in his tea, and yeah, probably ends with the classic angle on his glasses as he's preparing all of these drinks for everyone.
I'm there taking notes on the chant.
Mm-hmm. And the chant was coming from the baronet. It was his voice. When you hear him speak, you're like, oh, that was him.
So tell me more about this chant then. Oh, it's fascinating.
Oh, no, am I really going to be arrested? But you know that I found a book. And Walter, your outro.
I'm frolicking with some white rabbits, trying to heal my knee.
Yes. And Diana.
Looking fabulous, new outfit, looking in the compact.
And as that is happening, and you have the entire Russian army, secret army, that was going to go and infiltrate, mesmerized and taken out, and your baronet, of Master of the Arcane, spilling secrets because it's good tea. Spy Team 67 is able to save the UK from false Northerners. One time yet again, keeping Great Britain safe from enemies. And with that, my friends, we are done with our episode. If you would, I'd like to give a big quick goodbye. I'm troopersjp. This was the agency, which you can find online. It's at DriveThru if you like. Fun system. And it was lovely to be here for you. And you can find me on my channel at troopersjp anywhere you like. Susie, say goodbye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye. That's
Bye.
Susie. That's Give Me FTL. Susanna Grace, Give Me FTL. Everybody. Bye, everybody.